Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, with our main topic today. We are discussing the Egyptian-French bilateral relations in light of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi's visit to Paris, as the president is scheduled to attend a conference offering support for the transitional period in Sudan, and also a meeting over the financing of African economies. To shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have this phone with His Excellency Ambassador Hussein Hareedy, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Good morning, Ambassador Hareedy.
Good morning, Madam.
Well, Ambassador Hareedy, Your Excellency, could you shed light on the importance of the visit, the official visit by President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi to Paris?
Well, the French president kindly invited President el-Sisi to attend two important summits. The first one concerned the transitional period in Sudan and how the international community could help Sudan in this transition towards a viable democratic regime. And the second summit is related to the state of African economies in light of the pandemic of COVID-19. The two summits are important from an Egyptian point of view. As far as Sudan is concerned, Egypt has a great interest in political stability of Sudan and the economic prosperity of the Sudanese people. As far as the second one is concerned, of course, the Egyptian economy is considered also an African economy. And our economy, as well as other African economies, have suffered in the last year and a half from the negative consequences of the COVID-19 pandemic on our economies and on our financial resources. So the second summit would discuss the ways and means of helping African countries, including Egypt, to face these negative consequences, as well as to finance the purchase of vaccines for the African people. Due to the economic consequences of the COVID, of the pandemic, some African countries are not in a position to buy enough vaccines for their people. So the two summits, in a way, are interrelated, and Egypt stands to gain from participating in them. And hopefully, let us hope that the second summit, which concerns the state of the African economies, would reach good conclusions that would help the African economies in the next few years to overcome the consequences of the COVID pandemic, Madam.
Yes, Your Excellency, Ambassador Hareedy, also President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi met in Paris with the head of the Sudanese Transition Sovereign Council, Abdel Fattah al-Burhan. The spokesperson of the presidential spokesperson, Ambassador Bassam Radi, said that the president praised the strong and historic ties between the two nations, between Egypt and Sudan, and Abdel Fattah al-Burhan praised the support Egypt supported, how Egypt supported Sudan in its transitional period. What's your comment on this?
Well, I guess this meeting, from a personal perspective, this meeting was geared to coordinate Sudanese and Egyptian positions in the summit concerning the support of the Sudanese transition. And the Lieutenant General Abdel Fattah Burhan, of course, laid out the Sudanese vision. What does Sudan expect from the summit? And I believe that I would imagine that he asked for Egyptian support for the position that the Sudanese delegation would bring to the summit. I have no doubt whatsoever, Madam, that Egypt would lend all its wholehearted support for the Sudanese position in the summit. And on a personal level, I'm hopeful that this summit would come up with good results as far as the future of Sudan is concerned. The international community, including Egypt, of course, is interested in the political stability and security and prosperity of Sudan. And therefore, I expect that the summit concerning the transition in Sudan would be a success.
Yes, Your Excellency, Ambassador Hareedy, we're expecting an Egyptian, a French summit, as President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi is going to meet with the French President Emmanuel Macron. So what is the agenda of this summit, and what would you expect from this summit between the Egyptian President and the French President?
Well, aside from from bilateral relations, which are more than excellent between France and Egypt right now, I believe the situation in Palestine would be the top topic on the agenda of the Egyptian-French summit in Paris today. Of course, Egypt and France have been exerting efforts to achieve a ceasefire in Gaza, and once the ceasefire is reached, to go forward in the resumption of peace negotiations between the Palestinians and the Israelis. This time around, it won't be enough just to agree on a ceasefire. There must be a way out of this dilemma, because it's a very serious dilemma. The Palestinians have proven time and again, particularly lately, that they have the political will, and they are willing to make sacrifices to live within the borders of their own state according to Security Council resolutions. So I believe that the situation in Palestine, Gaza, and the occupied West Bank would top the agenda of this Egyptian-French summit. The other question on the agenda, I would believe the transition in Libya and the overall situation in the East Mediterranean basin. The two are linked insofar as the problem has been in the last few years the Turkish policies in these two parts of the Mediterranean. So fortunately, Libya now has started a transition, and Egypt and France would lend their support. They have lent their support for this transition. And the other file would be, of course, fighting terrorism in the sub-Saharan Africa. This is Egypt has been cooperating with France lately, and fighting terrorism in sub-Saharan Africa is related one way or another to the situation in Libya.
Yes.
So I guess these are the most urgent files on the agenda of the French-Egyptian summit, Madam.
Yes, Your Excellency, Ambassador Hareedy, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi is also expected to meet with high-ranking officials in Paris, and also he is scheduled to meet with the managers and heads of big companies in Paris, and he has already met with received Eric Trappe, who is the CEO of the Dassault Aviation, the maker of Rafale jet fighters. So how do you see the importance of the meetings that is going to take place between President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and the heads of big and famous companies in France? Do you expect signing agreements, for example, in the fields of trade, investment, something like that?
Let's hope so. As you may know, Madam, France or French companies have investment in Egypt up to $5 billion US.
Yes.
And this is really a substantial sum of money, substantial investment, and we hope, of course, that the figure will increase in the years. Egyptian is doing it to attract direct foreign in the Egyptian economy. The meetings that the presidency with the leading figures in the French economy, of course, help in this regard. So, and he meets with chief executives of French companies operating in Egypt and other chief operating officers whose companies are looking at investing in. Of course, the French companies compete on national level. They have contracts in investing in, and we want more French companies in our community. They bring needs, and we have a lot of French companies. And of course, in the years to come, I believe that the French investment is particularly maritime in mass transit would be substantial. Lately, the underground authority, metro authority, signed an agreement with French companies to incorporate the third line, the Greater Cairo Metro, and this is very step forward. France is one of the leading countries in managing and operating underground high-speed trains. We stand to learn that benefit from expanding our cooperation and in economic fields, and we want the trade volume between the two countries.
Yes, Your Excellency, yes.
So I guess the Egyptian-French summit is very important today in strengthening France and Egypt. As you may have noticed, the meeting with the chief executive officer of the maker of the Rafale comes in the years of signing a second contract with this company to provide Egypt with 24 more Rafale fighter planes in the years to come. So I guess this summit is a proof that Egyptian-French relations are going strong by the day.
Yes, I thank you very much for your time, for your valuable information, Your Excellency, Ambassador Hussein Hareedy, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Thank you very much for joining us over the phone. Please stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, for more coverage on President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi's visit to Paris.